It's a draw.
In mezzo al rumore serve qualcosa che duri.
E il Papa Leon XIV.
Storie vere. Incontri che cambiano la vita. Persone che costruiscono. Uno sguardo originale su ciò che accade. Tutto questo è Tracce. Ora anche in una nuova versione digitale. Per raccontare sempre più storie di gente che vive. Tracce, la rivista internazionale di Comunione e Liberazione.
È bello avere quello che ti serve quando ti serve. Come il programma Easy Token Collection, per accumulare punti da trasformare in premi. Easy Bank, la banca digitale di Intesa San Paolo.
Rossa, sì. Tu Davide gialla.
Questo è un luogo che genera dialogo,
Qualcuno che si impegna, che si batte.
che approfondisce la conoscenza e sostiene la fiducia. È un crocevia dove si incontra chi desidera il vero, il bello, il giusto e il bene. È una testimonianza di speranza nel cuore ferito del presente. E tutto questo
Proporre con la propria vita.
esiste anche grazie a te.
Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is better than wine. Your anointing oils are fragrant, your name is oil poured out, therefore virgins love you. Draw me after you, let us run. The king has brought me into his chambers. We will exult and rejoice in you. We will extol your love more than wine. Rightly do they love you. I am very dark but lovely, O daughters of Jerusalem, like the tents of Kedar, like the curtains of Solomon. Do not gaze at me because I am dark, because the sun has looked upon me. My mother's sons were angry with me. They made me keeper of their vineyards. But my own vineyards I have not kept. Tell me, you whom my soul loves, where you pasture your flock, where you make it lie down at noon. For why should I be like one who veils herself beside the flocks of your companions? You are beautiful, my friend iridescent, with eyes like doves. You are beautiful, my love, sweet and radiant. Here, where our roof are the branches of the cedars, the cypresses of our screen, and the tender foliage is our bed. I am the heather daffodil, a valley anemone, a lily amongst the needles, my beloved amongst her friends. A quince tree amongst the ash trees, my beloved amongst the lads. In its longed-for shade I found peace, its sweet apples my mouth longs for. It accompanied me to the feast, and the golden flame of his love enveloped me. Revive me with raising stars, with Alkermes revive me. I feel my soul is fainting, whilst with her left hand she supports my head and embraces me with her right. I beseech you, maidens of Sion, for the sake of the gazelles and the wild doves, do not disturb the silence, lest you rouse my beloved until she is ready. Keep the foxes at bay, still small, but deadly to the vines, now that they are in bloom. For me alone, serene amongst the daffodils, is my love, and I for him alone, until the day breathes its last. As the shadows fall, and you, my beloved, like a roe deer to the mountains of our rendezvous, you must return. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to this meeting. Let me start by thanking Giampiero Bartolini, who is here to support us and immediately join the topic of this meeting, getting inside the actual text that we will talk about, the Songs of Songs. So let me introduce the guests who will help us going farther into details into this text. So let me thank the Cardinal José Tolentino de Mendonça, poet, prefect of the Dicastery for Culture and Education. And those of you who will spend the entire afternoon here with us at the meeting can join us later, because we will introduce and present his collection of essays called Cultivating the Life. So let me also add some further details about that, and then thinking about some of his texts, Lingua Primitiva, for example. And then Davide Brullo, he is a poet. He's an expert about the written texts and the words. He's the director of Pangea and Poesia. Pangea is a website. If you don't know that, I kindly invite you to visit this website. And it's a website where I really invite you to spend some time and try to read the texts. And amongst all the things that our guests are sharing, I can say that they've all been translators of the Song of Songs. His Eminence in Portuguese, he translated the text in Portuguese, and Davide, he translated the text into Italian. And now I think that we all would like you to try to translate for us this text. So let's try to bring us inside this text. You said that this is a dangerous and transparent text, while you, Davide, you said that this is a text where you will feel immediately involved. So I'm sure we will all be involved in this. So I'm looking forward to listen to you. Let me just make a further remark concerning the topic of this meeting, which is the love sung by Dante. So I was thinking that one of the songs that we often listen while we go to the supermarket or while we drive our car is stating that this is not a love song that you will sing for me. Well, I was thinking that popular songs shall try to involve everybody and be very straightforward. And I believe that the love song is something which immediately involves us. And with respect to Dante, well, the adventure today to say this is not a love song that you will sing for me, is something very peculiar. What Dante did at a certain point of his life was to focus on the path, on the way of songs, of poems. You are poets, so once again, you shall help us understanding that poems are not actually complicating things, but this is an actual choice, a real choice to sing love. So is it our time still a context, a period where it still makes sense to sing the love? So what's this text telling us? So can you start telling us something more about that? Well, good evening, Annalisa. It's a real pleasure for me to be here with you at the meeting today. Half of the Vatican already came here, but it's a real pleasure for me to be here with Davide Brullo and also with Giampiero Bartolini to talk about one of the, I would say, the most unknown books, but also the most fascinating ones within the Bible tradition and the Christian spiritual approach. So why is it fundamental in this period to go back to the Song of Songs? I believe that, as Annalisa was saying, it's very important today to be aware of the fact that we often talk about the end of love. This is the title of an essay focused on sociology, which is very important. This was written by Eva Ilus. And this is not only pop music, which is talking less and less about love, but there is a kind of lack of willingness about love. And as the Pope, Leon XIV, is reminding us, we are now living a new period, a new moment of our history, because for the first time in history, machines are copying the human being. Also in talking about love, the machine is not actually feeling any love, any friendship, any feeling, but they can simulate. And it's true that despite being alone, many people think that it's easier to be involved with a machine that actually running the risk of a real and authentic love relationship. The Pope stated that at the core of the Christian proposal there should be the responsibility to awake in every person and to develop in every person the desire. Now we are here talking about the Song of Songs to develop this desire to be loved and to love other people. Of course, we don't know everything about love. One of the poems of the 20th century from Autumn created a kind of song saying, "Tell me the truth about love." This is something that for us as Christians is some kind of responsibility to say the truth about love. This is why we need to go back and focus on the Song of Songs. Of course, this is a complex text. It's a very difficult. This is, as I was saying at the beginning, kind of unknown, because also in the Catholic approach, we read it just twice during the year. On the 21st of December, we are obliged to read it because we say this is the voice of the beloved which comes to say that the Christmas is coming. And during the day of Santa Maria Maddalena, or it can be read during weddings. So, and I suggest you to be brave enough to choose the Song of Songs. It's true, it's a difficult, complicated text, but there are very few other texts that had the impact, the strength, and the possibility to really touch the real truth of the human heart, as the Song of Songs is doing. This is a real engine for us. There are lots of comments in the Christian tradition about that, and this explains how this book is still alive, because it should be read, it should be commented also by ourselves. Let's think about St. Thomas, for example, how he was always saying that he passed away reading and making comments about the Song of Songs. And the same for Santa Teresa d'Avila, where she talks about the Song of Songs. And she said that once she was in a church, and the religious person, the priest, was sharing very important things, talking about very important things, but everybody was laughing at him, and she was wondering, how is it possible? How was it possible that love is not understood correctly? So for this reason, she wrote some comments to the Song of Songs. But again, let's think about all the tradition from origin, Sant'Ambrogio, Sant'Agostino. We can find lots of comments and texts written about the Song of Songs. And in conclusion, about this first comment, before leaving the floor to Davide, and trying again, both of us, to involve you more and more in this book and in this text, let me say that I've been lucky in my life to find this book, which played a very important role in my education, my training, not only from a spiritual point of view, but also as a poet. And the first time I heard this, it was explained by an illiterate woman. She was an uneducated woman. She was there cleaning the church. When I was a child, I remember she was there cleaning the church. And this woman once repeated that words that she used to repeat as to pray. And let me be honest with you, there is a before and an after for me for that, because I understood that words can introduce such a richness in the world that the world before didn't have.
Ecco Davide, abbiamo...
All right, Davide. So now please, the word is yours. Well, I'd like to start from illiteracy. Luckily, there is something that we cannot understand, but a song can really enchant us. And, you know, the Sancta Sanctorum of the holy text, the place of no return. And this is the place where we have to lay or leave all our cultural mistakes. Well, actually, I was lucky to translate the song to pay tribute to a dear friend of mine. And, the publishing company that translated that edition was a publishing company that you might know. It is Guaraldi from here, from this area in Italy. And they were in charge of translating it. Well, I'd like to tell you a few things. Actually, what you are listening now should be made available. We have decided to provide translations that are different from the official translations from the Bible. You heard the start of the song by Giovanna Bempora, and then by another person that is very well known in Romagna, Agostino Venanzio Reali. And then you will hear a few more that are different, very different one from another. So the poet is continuously challenged. So you're going to hear some translations of Italian contemporary poets. So the Bible and the Song of Songs in particular, they are our texts. But the Song of Songs is sort of making us naked. I'm sick of love. There's no love without going through a disease, but a disease could be craziness. And so, you know, we get into that dynamic of love that might be eros, for example. Well, the Song of Songs is actually the text with there's no God, apart from one expression that says divine flame, as if God was spying through a little crack, and you're learning to love. Sorry if I'm jumping from one concept to another, but it is nice to go back to returning to being illiterate. And also the position of the Song of Songs inside the Bible, it is between, just after Qoheleth, in the books of Solomon. The Song of Songs, you kiss me with the kisses of your mouth. I want all of those kisses. It is as if there was creation after destruction. And then in the Song of Songs, if you underline, you will see it is like a little Genesis, because all the beasts, all the jobs are convened, the city, the crowd, and intimacy. It is all convened. It is true. Love has to be shouted out to the world. I love and I take on my responsibility at the cost of being ill of love. But then you have to fly, to run away from your city. You have to get into a cove and recognize yourself in the nude body of the other. And so apart from these words of mine, and now I'm going to stop. The Song of Songs, at the end of the day, probably is a poem of love. And maybe it is simply beautiful. Maybe it is simply the beauty of the Song of Songs that can save us. And the beauty is not comprehensible. You may have read or seen the work by Antonella da Messina. What can you explain about it? If you are in Rimini, if you think about the Pietà by Bellini, It is such an astonishing beauty. And, when this is in modern times, you need to find an explanation for everything. Of course, if an art historian comes here, he will or she will explain these works of art to us. But how many times have we said, I love you to a person? An endless number of times. Was it always the same? No, certainly not. It was always different. But how can I tell what is not possible to tell? Well, this is the challenge of the poet. This is why Dante decided to enter the enigma of the song, because you have to force yourself when you wanted to say something that is not possible to say, as if you were a thief that is getting through a window and assaults you. The song is also hunting, or sequela. Thank you. Thank you, Davide. So now, Piero. Okay, so now let's go back to the text. Piero, please. On my bed, in the dead of night, I sought him who craves my throat, my very breath. I sought him, but could not reach him. I shall go up, yes, and wander through the city, through the streets and squares. I shall seek him who desired my throat, my very breath. I sought him, but could not find him. The watchman patrolling the city found me. Have you seen the one who longs for my throat, for my breath? No sooner had I passed them than I found the one who longs for my throat, my very breath. I besieged him and will give him no respite until I have him taken to my mother's house, to the room of the one who bore me. You're all beautiful, my friend. There is no flaw in you. You come to me from Lebanon as my bride. Come to me from Lebanon. Leave the summit of the Hamana, the peaks of Sanir and Hermon, and the lions' dens, the mountains of the leopards. You turn my mind upside down, my sister and bride. You turn my mind upside down with just a single glance, with a single strand of your necklace. Your caresses are marvelous, my sister and bride, more marvelous than wine, and the scent you give off surpasses every perfume. Your lips are like dripping honeycombs, O bride, honey and milk in your mouth, like a Lebanon of fragrances, the scent of your garments. You are the oasis with gates open, my sister and bride, the sealed spring, the sealed spring. Thank you. Congratulations, beautiful. This is all beautiful. And you've been very good speakers, by the way, so we still have time to go inside of this text even more. So now I'd like to go back to a few things you already started saying. You talked about, well, anorexia of love. Machines don't get ill. And so anorexia is one of those diseases that touches upon taste. And taste is a sense that machines don't have. And the text of the Song of Songs is full of senses. Today we're very visual, while in the Song of Songs there's like a storm of aromas, scents, fragrances. And well, one of the indications or instructions given at a school for poets or for writing today is that when you want to write about senses, about touching or aromas, well, you have to limit yourself. Instead, the Song of Songs is very abundant, is very generous with that. There are so many senses well described and like thrown at the reader. And then second thing I'd like to talk about, Davide, you were talking about chasing, about love that moves. And this is Dante's point of arrival. Nowadays, we are very good at moving. We are so frenetic. And so I'd like to ask you, please feel free to say whatever you feel like. But chasing love in the Song of Songs, do you think this is connected to our frenetic life? Well, just a couple of words to talk about this book. And this book is very enigmatic. So why a book where the word God is just mentioned in a very shy way just once? Why has this become a canonic book? And as Davide Brullo said, the saint of the saints of the Bible. So why has this book become like this? What is the background of this book that is such a different book? You know, the anthropology of the Bible is very sober. When we talk about beauty, first of all, it is a moral beauty, being good-hearted, while in the Song of Songs, it talks about physical beauty, being beautiful. And it also describes with a lot of details. Well, it talks about being astonished and, well, saying, I have to sort of stop this storm of aromas and senses being excited. So where does this book come from, since it is so different from the Bible and its terminology? There are different theories indeed. Some people say Teodoro de Mossuet also agreed with it. He said that it was a song very connected to Egypt, since it was produced in Egypt in order to celebrate the wedding of Solomon with the daughter of the Pharaoh. And so it explains the fact that it is so close to many love songs from Egypt. Another possibility is that the Song of Songs instead is a sort, well, it comes from those cults from Mesopotamia. Well, gods and goddesses used to love each other, and at that time there was well, wide presence of sexuality, and so these gods well, were celebrated by using these songs, and maybe the Israelis then took it back and introduced it as part of the Bible tradition. This is actually quite weird, since Israel has very strict control of polytheism, since they have a very strict monotheistic faith. And then another possibility is that the Song of Songs in its origins was used as a song for Palestinian weddings. As you know, the wedding was celebrated for a week, for an entire week, and the top of that week was when the married couple was crowned. And so during that moment, the Song of Songs would be celebrated. So it is still an enigma, and there are still many open theories. We should not forget that this is a love poem, and it belongs to the Bible. But this is not just something partial, not just a detail. It is actually something very fundamental for its interpretation. So what are we learning from this love poem? Well, first of all, the very high dignity of human beings. So in Antigone, Song of Sophocles, it says, well, there are so many wonderful things that amaze us, but nothing like human beings. And also in the Song of Songs, we see this celebration of human beings. Human beings are so beautiful, such an incredible beauty. What is a human being? What is a man? What is a woman? And when we read it, when we read the Song of Songs, it is impossible not to cry. Well, facing this miracle of beauty, of truth, that is the human being. And then something very beautiful that we learn by reading the Song of Songs is the mutuality. Mutuality established by love, always. If we just think that this book was written probably in the 5th century before death, women didn't have a role that could be symmetrical to man. Women's social role was very limited. Instead, in the Song of Songs, there is equality. There is a mutuality between men and women. So much so that people think that maybe the author of the Song of Songs was a woman. And it is indeed a woman that says, kiss me with the kisses of your mouth. So this mutuality is very beautiful, and we have to contemplate it as an icon. The Song of Songs is an icon of love that we have to celebrate, praise, and learn. And then something which is also very beautiful is to think that love is also about intimacy. And we learn what intimacy is, since the people, the two loved people, are in a tent. They have something that belongs to them. But at the same time, love is also cosmic, since the resonance, the impact of love on the earth, in nature, in the creation, well, love is a song of creatures. It's not just my love. Every person that loves really introduces an incredible resonance of love in the cosmos. And then, as Davide Brullo said already, and as we heard in this introduction, love is a new creation. And so all things are new. And there are two moments where the two people in love want to take each other to the place where they were generated or conceived. Why that? Well, because love is a new generation. Love is able to recreate the human being. And one last thing. I'd like to say that the Song of Songs makes men and women prince and princess. Every man is a prince, every woman is a princess. And at the same time, they are also beggars through love. The Song of Songs is a book of two beggars that continuously ask each other, come to me, where are you, help me, help me. It is a radical insufficiency. The human being cannot live, cannot breathe without the presence of the other. So love as a wound, as a search, as a listening, shared solitude, as a prayer. So this is learned through the Song of Songs, really. And very last comment, why? Why is the Song of Songs a book that is very sensual and also very divine? Why? Why is the Song of Songs an icon that reveals God to us with such an incredible intensity? Well, because the human being never gets naked so much or disarmed like when the human being feels love. So it means accepting the fact that we are vulnerable. It means understanding that life is based on hospitality. Without hospitality, you don't build life. And our direction is the others' needs. It is the others that make me what I am. So this is accepted as the top source of joy, and it helps us understand God. As St. Paul says, he was rich and turned into poor to fill each one of us of our richness.
Prego, Davide.
So, Davide, talking about hospitality, creation, there are lots of topics that you can talk about. Well, it comes from my heart, as the song is saying, because loving someone means being continuously involved in that process. You cannot avoid to think about it. And this song of body here is the actual door through which we join a new pact, the gospel, the moment where God, reading himself in the Song of Songs, decides to become into a real human body. But this is the real aspect of love here that we can say that's a real accomplishment. And the Song of Songs, I think, shall be also played somehow, because otherwise the icon, as you know, is something that should be literally eaten. So we shouldn't consider this book as a book like reading the poems and from Dickens, for example. No, this book has a different ability because it's not just the art of loving, it's the art of daring, doing something. Otherwise, there are also other books. If it was just this, like the Kama Sutra or other books. No, here we should perceive the actual meaning and understand the actual meaning of the Song of Songs. So everybody should try in your book to develop your love, adding adjectives and metaphors and what comes into your mind. And that's where you start understanding what love is. You can invent new words, you can invent new adjectives. So if it's true that this person that I love is made of a love which I cannot actually talk about. Well, if I'm so deeply in love, I should invent, I should create a love. I should create, a word which doesn't exist. So I love you like a cloud which looks like an elephant, for example, or this kind of game, playing with the new genesis, something new that you should continuously invent. Without this game, love cannot survive. Love will die because we cannot keep it within ourselves otherwise. So this is something we shall all try to do. This is something that should be played. It is not just something beautiful to see or something that we want to own. No. Love cannot be owned. You need to invent love, and this is a game you should play in couple. So, daughters of Jerusalem, tell me, where is he? And the same for him. Where is she? Where are you? It's a continuous missed rendezvous. And within this space, within this context, there is the possibility to create this place where we live together. This is a space, the space of a letter, the space of literature, the space of dedicating something, writing a book of words that you will receive next year for your birthday, for example. And what happens during this waiting time, during this waiting period? It's like, think about the pregnancy. It takes 9 months. It's not just a matter as it is today to send quick texts and let's meet outside this room in a few seconds. No, this is the space, this is the time which plays a role. Otherwise, it's just a simulation of love. And let me conclude by adding something else, because the Song of Songs is creating a vocabulary that we find also in Dante, but in many other texts and books. Let's read, for example, the most important women like Angela da Foligno, Veronica Giuliani, Diary of 20,000 pages, Maddalena de Pasti. So these, let me say, crazy women created a new language, running after love, running after a verb, a word, trying to capture the beauty of love and to make it free through their words. And, of course, when the author gives a name to a concept, it does that to make it free, to share it with other people, because love is running after something. This is a continuous waiting for. This is a way of finding new ways to meet each other. Well, otherwise, we won't be interested on poems and history of literature. This is not something that you can find in a library or in a bookshop. This is here in a new creation. Well, maybe it won't work. Well, doesn't matter. That's the art of daring doing something new. Have me as a ceiling on your heart, on your arm. That's the moment where you can read it, strong as love and death, strong as the kingdom of death. Your life is a divine life, strong as love. This means that love wins against death. Death cannot win. And as I said, strong as life, as the real life. And this is something real, something very aggressive on a certain point of view. But this is something which should be kept, protected. When it talks about passion, this is not passion for, like we can think, passion for swimming or passion for birds or other things we like. Here it talks about a really aggressive jealousy. This is the real willingness to be strong as and the jealousy, the aggressive jealousy, is strong as the kingdom of death. So the Song of Songs talks also about the counterpart, because it says, well, be careful, because if love is something that can win against death, but if it becomes an aggressive jealousy, just aiming at owning the other part, that of course this is not the good love. So the Song of Songs is a kind of education about how to love, how to dare doing something. Maybe we won't find an answer during our whole life. It doesn't matter. I loved also for you. Well, we cannot do and see everything during our life, even though you don't see me, even though you didn't see me during this life. It's been good to do that, and it was worthy doing that. Let's think about the Beato Angelico in San Marco, for example. Who was he painting for? Well, it doesn't matter. He was there, he was loving, he was creating. And, well, of course, someone would have appreciated that afterwards. And it doesn't matter who would have done that. That's the real meaning, the real importance of love. So let's think about the real beauty behind that, not waiting for a feedback, not even a loving feedback from the other person, because we are already at another level. We don't need to get a feedback. We don't need to get an answer. We need to feel the breath, the fragrance, the crazy, the madness about that. Thank you, Davide. You've been so good that we still have a little bit of time. So listening to you make us wishing going home and read the Song of Songs, even though we're not experts. Can you tell us just a very few words about how to read? How shall we face this text? Can you give us some hints, some suggestions about how to read something that you love or you like? Well, I think that it's very important to try to read and understand the total context of the text, because that's a very visual text full of colors and details, but it's also text with lots of voices, with lots of people looking for other peoples, but also fragrances, but also the sensual approach, the touch, the taste. There are lots of things involved in this text. So it's really a total reading that shall approach us, and we shall let this text approach us with a very slow reading. A very good recommendation is what Davide Brullo said, trying to write down. Well, there are just 8 little chapters, so try to write with your hands and rewrite the Song of Songs. So in this way you will read it or reread it or read different translations as well, because that's a way to be amazed as well by this text and go deeper into the text. Thank you. What about you, Davide? Well, we can spend another hour here talking about that, but there are, I think, 2 ways. The first one is what he just said. You need to write it down on your book. And the second way is, well, this evening we are 3 of us around the table. Let's read it aloud, because the text is a song, it's music. Even though you don't understand it, you hear a voice singing it. So I kindly invite you tonight, all of you that are in love, let's try to read it aloud. Well, and then the day after you can rewrite it together with your beloved one. We will immediately run home and write down this text? Well, we are kind of used to say that we shouldn't copy things, but in this case, I think it's a wonderful approach. And so let us conclude, Piero, with the text. You are beautiful, my friend, like Tirsa, as splendid as Jerusalem, marvelous as a grand spectacle. Take your eyes off me that unsettle me. Your hair is like a flock of goats coming down from Gilead. Your teeth look like flocks of lambs coming out of the bath, all of which are to bear twins, and none of them is barren. Like a pomegranate segment is your cheek behind your veil. 60 are the queens and 80 the concubines, and the virgins are beyond number. But there is only one, my dove, my perfect one, unique to her mother, unrivaled amongst her mother's daughters. When the girls see her, they call her happy, and the queens and the concubines sing her praises. Who is this who shines like the dawn, as beautiful as the moon, as pure as the sun, marvelous as a grand spectacle? And then I went down into the walnut grove to gaze upon the verdant valley, to see if the vines were in bloom, and whether the pomegranates were in bloom. Daughters of Jerusalem, I beg you, why stir up? Why on earth love whilst its desires? Who is she who from the desert, climbing up, bound to her beloved? Beneath the apple tree, there where your mother conceived you, where she went into labor, and where she gave birth to you, I have awakened you. Set me as a seal upon your heart, on your arm as a seal. It is as strong as death, love, and jealousy. Jealousy is as the underworld. It blazes with the flames of fire. It is a mighty flame and the waters of the abyss. Neither love nor the rivers to flood it. He is blamed who squandered their wealth for love. I am a wall, and my breasts are my breasts. In his gaze I have found peace.
Grazie, grazie.
So thank you, everybody. Thank you, His Eminence, Cardinal José Tolentino de Mendonça. Thank you, Davide Brullo. And thank you, Giampiero Bartolini. I wish you a good afternoon here at the meeting. Let me just remind you that all around the exhibition area, each one of you can support the meeting, contributing to create together these places for hope and beauty. So if you want, you can be generous with the little heart where you can read donate now. Have a good afternoon.
Questo è un luogo che genera dialogo,
Qualcuno che si impegna, che si batte.
che approfondisce la conoscenza e sostiene la fiducia. È un crocevia dove si incontra chi desidera il vero, il bello, il giusto e il bene. È una testimonianza di speranza nel cuore ferito del presente. E tutto questo
Proporre con la propria vita.
esiste anche grazie a te.
In mezzo al rumore serve qualcosa che duri.
El Papa León XIV.
Storie vere. Incontri che cambiano la vita. Persone che costruiscono. Uno sguardo originale su ciò che accade. Tutto questo è Tracce. Ora anche in una nuova versione digitale. Per raccontare sempre più storie di gente che vive. Tracce, la rivista internazionale di Comunione e Liberazione.
È bello avere quello che ti serve quando ti serve. Come il programma Easy Token Collection, per accumulare punti da trasformare in premi. Easy Bank, la banca digitale di Intesa San Paolo.